we can benefit who really want a certain way of selling, which I know you call serving, I call sharing, and focus on sharing solutions.
It's not how you sell it as much as it is what you are selling and offering and sharing and giving and adding value to the client.
Start a conversation around an influencer's post, someone that attracts a lot of your buyers. What a great way to start the conversation. Like and comment on their comment, then reach out to them.
You're always negotiating, and your body enhances that process.
The primary skill we're developing here is not that things go exactly the way you intend for them to do, but that you have confidence in your ability to respond to whatever happens. And if we can understand what our unique contribution to an interaction is, then that's where we can have some genuine confidence.
Just remember there are people right now who are praying for the message that you have, the inspiration that you have, the solution that you have. And if sales is the part that's making it difficult for you to serve, come be at this event and let's show you through all the speakers how to make that little piece right there, sales, how to make it easy so that all the people you're meant to serve are served.
Today, I am extremely excited. Today, if you're a speaker, a coach, an author who would like to get more speaking engagements, I have a special guest who's going to share with you some tips on how you can do that. Hi, I am Evie Diaz, strategic growth speaker here at Bizniversity.com. And I want to thank you for joining this Bizniversity broadcast. Today is very special because I don't know how many of you currently are leveraging the power of your eSpeaker profile. I know I have not been. If I'm being honest, I have not been. And today I have one of the owners and the chief marketing officer at eSpeakers. Please, if this is your first time, make sure that you share your comments in the comment box. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the bell so that you know when we come live, and love to hear your questions, your thoughts right there in the comments. And if you're in the replay, we appreciate you watching all the way to the end because we have a very special offer for you. And with that, I'll say welcome again, and let me go ahead and bring Joe Heaps. Hello, Joe.
There. Hi.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you so much. I'm excited, Joe. But let's begin because I'm very excited because I just met one of the amazing members of your team yesterday from eSpeakers and helped me to discover, perhaps uncover how powerful the eSpeakers tool is. But hold on. Just in case some people don't know you, can you please tell us a little bit about you?
You bet. Well, I started in technology many years, too many years ago, getting old here, but and we ended up kind of falling into the speaking industry back in the year 2000. So I've been working in the speaking industry for 22 years now. And it's been a great ride. You know, I love the ability to connect people with speakers with people that really need their message. And that here at eSpeakers is really our core. The thing that drives us the most is the ability to be able to connect people. And when you're able to connect the right people, and for you speakers, you know about this, when you connect with the right audience, and it's just a home run, and you just feel good, and people are are using the things you shared. And so that's really what we try to do here at eSpeakers, is really try to connect that. So we feel like through technology, we can do that. And so, we've done many different things to try to partner with different people and get more exposure. We've even just recently, we partnered with the John Maxwell Team they have all, thousands and thousands of coaches, and they want to become speakers. So we're helping them transitioning into that. So, we have we have a long history. We have speakers all around the world, and we've just trying to help speakers get their message out and be heard and get booked. That's our goal. So
I love that. See, I love that because I didn't know that it's so much more now than just an application that we can leverage. I see how much you're going out and extending the opportunity to serve and impact and reach the world to so many different organizations and speakers through different organizations like the John Maxwell, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's been really good.
So let's talk a little bit about, if you know a little bit about how can speakers best leverage this powerful tool. Because I'll tell you that yesterday, first of all, I had to confess that I really just did a quick copy and paste. When I first got into eSpeakers, I didn't even put much attention to it. Which, by the way, do you know how many speakers do that error? Because I consider that one of my greatest errors. How many speakers would you say that do that?
Oh, I would say it's probably 75, 80%. I mean, it's high. And this is one of the problems that we see is as speakers get there, they have a really good program. They speak, they've been getting paid for it. They might have gotten some help with copywriting. They have a one sheet, they maybe have a website. And so they have some copy there. And then anything they get asked to speak in a meeting in St. Louis, or they're going to be a guest on a podcast or a webinar or whatever. And they take the same content and just paste it in all these different places. And it's supposed to be relevant to all of those. And in some cases it does work, right? But in most cases, you need to be very specific about your message and the audience that it's going to. And that's one of the tips I'm going to share is specifically about your target. But yeah, you're right. You did exactly what everybody else does. And they just they just cut and paste it in there and it's good enough, and it's kind of like putting an ad. Imagine running, an ad in the newspaper or the billboard or something online. And it's just the same ad everywhere that it's not customized, it's not specific, and that's what speakers end up doing. So it really does help. And you went through that with Amber. That was actually one of our coaching sessions that she does, and she'll really just dig deep and get all of your information out and help you kind of balance between talking about the benefits of having you come speak, and then in marketing, you market with benefits and features, right? So you lead with the benefits and the features follow and support it. And so a lot of times speakers they just not only cut and paste all that, but they also lead with features.
Yes.
Right? I wrote this book. I spoke to these people. I'm this kind of an expert. I did this, that, whatever. I went to this school, started this company, sold this company, whatever it is. And because that's what kind of put them on the map for speaking. And so they lead with that because that's what's given them the momentum that they have. But what they don't understand is that we have 20,000 speakers in our database alone worldwide. And there's many more out there. And so when you go in, and if you're a business expert or a diversity expert or somebody that talks about women's health or whatever it is, there's other speakers there that have honed their message in. And so when you get in the search results, and your little, we call it a little speaker card that comes back in the search results with your picture and your name and your audience benefit statement on it. When that comes back against everybody else, you've got to kind of compare yourself. And a lot of times speakers will really be a misstep there, just like you were talking about. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Joe. That was really eye-opening to me, because yesterday when I had my eSpeakers coaching session, and by the way, if you're just joining us, we have Joe Heaps, co-owner of eSpeakers. This is a wonderful and powerful tool for you if you want to get more paid speaking engagements. So please feel free to write some questions. If you have some comments, we'd love to hear from you. So Joe, yesterday, Amber showed me this 10-step, I'm going to call it a card, to how you can optimize your eSpeakers profile.
Right.
And I just thought that is so powerful. You know, it reminded me a little bit as we were going through it, like so many people, especially us speakers, leverage LinkedIn, and they have the sales navigator. And somehow it brought me back to thinking, well, there are things that you need to do to improve your profile on LinkedIn. And I was surprised that something similar applies to our eSpeakers profile. And I am sure that, like me, many speakers do not understand that, nor they know that you have already put in place 10, I think it's 10, right? 10 simple tips, right?
Yes. Yeah. There's 10 steps basically. Yeah.
And I did not know that you optimize. So tell us a little bit about optimization and SEO and getting found, and maybe even some successful speakers, which I know one, and I'll tell you about her because I know her very, she's very close and near to me. But tell me about that, about how speakers must optimize your profile to get found.
Right. Well, number one is that wanting to attract buyers. That's the biggest thing. So how do you attract buyers? You may not want just any buyer, right? And we want specific buyers that want you. And so, for instance, if you're a safety expert, one of the things that you can optimize your profile with and help people attract the right kind of people is not just put a generic audience benefit statement and bio. So the audience benefit statement is kind of the thing that comes back in the results as who you are. And it's 2 or 3 lines of text is all. And then you have the longer bio. And then at the start of the bio, there's what's called a transition bio. So it transitions from the audience benefit statement into all the awesome things that you've done, the people you spoke to, the books you've read, and all that. So it's kind of an in-between there. It just says, hey, they've done these things, and they can help your audience. And the audience benefit statement is kind of just simply, what are the benefits of hiring you? When you come speak to this group, you're going to do this, this, and this, and they're going to walk away knowing how to do this, this, and this. And so the example of safety is key here, because Evie, if you have 6 topics that you speak on, and that's how many topics you can use in eSpeakers. Let's say one of them's safety, and the other one's leadership, and you have another one that's women's health. So you can have a generic bio that say, hey, I do all of these different things, but when somebody's looking for somebody in safety, when a meeting planner searches that, they don't want to read about leadership. They don't want to read about women's health. They want to find somebody that's a safety expert. And so one of the tricks in our system is we actually have the ability on the back end of your profile, when you put in an audience benefit statement and you put in your bio, you can do it for a generic bio and audience benefit statement, and then all six topics that you have. So you can create a custom topic for that safety you can create a custom bio for the safety topic and an audience benefit statement. So when the buyer comes and looks at your page, you right up front, you say, I'm a safety expert. I did this many years in the Army of doing whatever, or whatever it was that you had the experience in. And so that type of thing really helps you stand out as an expert in that. And again, you mentioned the number one problem that people have is their messaging. They just go and cut and paste generic things in there. The second one is just customizing one and not customizing them to all your different topics.
Yes, because most people do not know that. So now I'd like to ask you about your session at the upcoming Bizniversity Sales Made Easy conference, because I know that yesterday when I was feeling like I was going through all that detail, I learned so much. And I asked Amber if that's how you will do your session with us on the second day, October 14th, on Friday. And can you tell us a little bit about how you run your session? And I'll tell you why. But go ahead and tell us about your session.
Okay. Well, we don't usually go through. We could do a bunch of slides and things like that. We go right to the web. We go right to our directory, and we just show you the real thing. And we'll take you through some examples of how a meeting planner, or a buyer, we call them, will be searching for a leadership speaker or a diversity speaker or whatever. And so how they would go through that and go through the different pieces of the search functions to narrow it down to a specific. Now imagine buying something on Amazon, and you start with this vast world, and then you just start clicking things to say, I need it under this price and this thing, I need it in this color, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden it just narrows the thing. That same approach is how speakers are being purchased now, hired. And so it's a crazy thing, but that's the future. And so we're going to talk about how to attract the right buyer, not just attracting any buyer. You could go and do a job and a speech and leave and say, oh boy, I got my money, but I didn't really connect with them. It wasn't my right audience, but hey, they paid me, right? And so you really want to have the right type of buyers, and you do that by customizing your content. We'll talk about some things like that. And, so that's the number one thing we'll talk about. The second thing is that we'll talk about how to promote your business 24/7. We have some tools within eSpeakers that once you build it and put it together, that it'll just start promoting you every day of the week. Anytime you put in a new event, it'll notify your customers. And
wow, I did not know that either. I did not even experience that yet. Wow,
that just comes with the service, and it's just a nice way to just be. I mean, you know how they talk about you have to be in their face 6 times before they even click anything or do respond or anything. So this is a good way to oh wow, I forgot that she was even a speaker. She's going to be in Dallas, Texas, and so anyway, there's some different things we can do that way. And then
I like that. And wait, I always say 7, that it takes 7 touches. I like that you said 6, 7 touches. And I like that you mentioned that, because I will be mentioning that, because I always do during my talks. And I think people miss that. One of my biggest pet peeve is that people do not follow up and follow through. And I think with our powerful eSpeakers profile, and now that part that you just mentioned, I think that what I hear you saying is that that's going to allow us to almost automatically be following up and following through, because we'll be on their faces, you said?
Yeah. It's an automated, we tried to automate it, right? So that you, particularly with our calendar, if you put an event on the calendar, we have all these automations that will not only help you keep things from falling through the cracks on the event side, strategy side, but also on the marketing side. So we'll talk about that. And then the third thing we'll talk about is how to leverage your profile to increase sales. And we'll identify a few things that you can do, and just realizing that what worked last year or several years ago doesn't work today. And an example of that.
Wait. I'm going to take myself out, because I'm going to have you record that, because I consider that a quotable, so a soundbite. So let me take myself out. And I want you to repeat that, because I think that's important for speakers to hear that, especially some of these speakers that have been speaking for 10, 20, 30 years. So go ahead and please repeat.
Okay. Well, what worked many years ago, or even a few years ago, or last year, doesn't work today. You have to customize what's going on today, especially with the post-pandemic, having part virtual, hybrid meetings, being able to adjust on the fly. And that's one of the keys of being a speaker today, is being flexible, and being able to adjust as you go along. So, you can't just rely upon what happened, how great you did in the past, particularly your successes there, because it's a new world. It's a new challenge in front of us. And there's some new ways of doing things to keep you out in front of the customers. And so again, you can't keep doing what you've done last year or in the past. You've got to think new. You've got to create some new ways of generating attention in your behalf.
I appreciate everything you're saying, because many times, and that's why we put together the Sales Made Easy, and you're talking my language. And many times speakers forget that we are the product and we must sell ourselves, and we must look at conference organizers, at event organizers, as people that are booking us as buyers. They're looking to buy. And I love that analogy that I think you said, like Amazon looking to see, because many speakers forget that. And that's why we talk about thinking and sales. Sometimes it's because, number one, they don't think that they're the product, or because they don't understand that we do have to sell. And throughout our different lives and in our clubhouse, we've been talking about different lingo, different words. If the word sales scares people, to think about sharing. When you share yourself, when you serve, when you sell, all that is the same. And in order for us to be successful, we must project our greatest presence. And currently, I believe that eSpeakers is really one of the most powerful platforms that speakers can really project that powerful presence to have greater impact and reach. Now, I wanted to ask you, if you are going to have an opportunity to perhaps select a few people that are attending from our VIPs to take a look at their profiles. And I know I'm putting you in the spot because we're live. And I'm mentioning this because some of the other speakers, myself included, we are going to do coaching hot seats live, where we're picking some of the VIP members so that we can go over, like for me, I will go over some of their email content. We have Greg, who is going to be talking about body language and negotiating. So we're going to have him go through a session. And so we have different speakers doing that for some of our VIP members. And I wonder if you will have an opportunity to maybe do that as well.
Yeah, you're not talking about right now. You're talking about
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
We've already done that. We took, for example, I was going to tell you, we took a snapshot of your profile, if you remember, prior to you getting the coaching and redoing the whole thing and having it lead with the benefits and things like that. So, and now we'll lead with that. We'll start with that and show how it was and where it's at. And, just with a little bit of work, maybe you can even calculate how many, minutes or an hour or whatever it took you to do it. But, estimate that. And I'm happy to evaluate people live if you want to. We can bring them up in the directory and look at them, and we can give some suggestions on ways they can tweak things and things like that for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Because I personally, Joe, found that so powerful yesterday when she went through looking. And so I know this is live and I'm putting you on the spot, but I know you're speaking on day 2, which is Friday, October 14th. And we have you at our time, ET, around 2 or so. And my question is, we have day 3, which is implementation. I know we haven't talked about that Saturday, but the VIPs are going to stay for implementation. I want you to consider whether that would be a longer 30-minute session, or if you rather do it one day on Friday and take a full 60-minute session. Oh. And I'll tell you why, because I got so inspired yesterday. I mean, I'm just like, I'm psyched about your presentation because I believe that my eyes were opened yesterday to your powerful tool. And I know that just like my eyes got open, especially because I have big goals for 2023, I really want to get back on stages. I want to get paid to speak more. And I know so many speakers are thinking just like me. So yesterday when Amber was going through that entire eSpeakers profile, I told our team members, our Zoom producers, can we please give Joe more time? And they said, okay, we'll move things around. We can give him about 60 minutes if we move things around.
Awesome.
And I said, if we can get him to do some coaching hot seats of speaker profiles, we'll definitely get it done. So is it a yes?
Yeah, for sure.
I love it. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be great. And that would give us the chance to actually dig into what we call eSpeakers SEO. It's kind of the formula that ranks you high in the search results. And so people say, how do I get into the top? And that's one of the things that we do. And interesting enough, the things that we're talking about in that ESEO, now we have expanded time, we can talk more about that. They're good practices for speakers to take into their own content, their own website. Make sure you're doing this, this, and this. Now, I'm not going to tell you what they are because you got to show up, but you got to do these things. And so if you do them, then there's a higher success rate. You're going to connect with more people. Your message is going to be clearer. And so why not do that on your personal website too? So you'll learn some things that aren't just eSpeakers profile. They'll help you with your profile, but you can apply them over on your personal website and your messaging.
I am so looking forward to that. So if you're just tuning in and you're a speaker and you have an eSpeakers profile that you have not leveraged, perhaps because like me, you do not understand the power of that tool, because I didn't until last night when, Amber from the eSpeakers team went through my entire profile. Please make sure that you get your VIP ticket today, because we're going to be selecting, rather Joe will be selecting a few people from our VIPs to go through their eSpeaker profiles. And so what else can our attendees be looking forward to as it pertains to eSpeakers? I want you to tell me that. And then I wonder if you have some statistical data in terms of about how many conference promoters, people that book speakers, how often they visit the eSpeaker websites, and maybe even some success stories, because I know that you have a success story on your page from someone that I know personally.
Yeah. Well, that was a long list of things. So let me start with the last thing you talked about, a success story.
Yes. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Many of you might have heard of a speaker named Crystal Washington. She's an amazing person and speaker. She lives in Houston, Texas, and she went through a similar process that Evie went through on her profile, revamped everything. And because she did that, she not only had better content and was clearer, but she earned those ESEO points, the eSpeakers SEO, which ranks you higher. And about 3 or 4 days later, after doing that, it takes a day or two to kind of have the algorithm like, oh, look, they have more points and let's rank them higher and so forth. It was 3 or 4 days later, she got a booking that she wouldn't have got otherwise. And it particularly was in regards to getting her certified virtual presenter designation or certification that we did. We came out with that when the pandemic hit. And so they said, we chose you because you had the right content, you were in the right you were on the first page, and that you were a certified virtual presenter. And that's what got her the job, right? And so, it's proof that going through that will get you more views, impressions, and hopefully get hired more. What were the other questions here?
I was going to say, well, no, and that's perfect. I was going to say that I know, I'll go over the next question, but I know that one of my mentors and past clients Peggy Echevarria is one of the people that you have as a testimonial. And she talks about how by her having her profile listed on eSpeakers, how she has attracted business, paid speaking engagements. And yes, so my last question was about the statistical data in terms of how do you track how many conference promoters, booking agents are visiting eSpeakers. And can you tell us a little bit about that so that people that do not know, because maybe they have not put their profile, they haven't optimized it, they don't know just how many eyeballs are in that eSpeakers website?
Yeah. So first of all, there's lots of different ways that you can get attention. You could go on social media, do your own website, go through Google. I mean, there's plenty of ways that you can do this. But what we've found is that these meeting planners are lost when they go to Google. They will type leadership speaker, $5,000 is my budget, available on this date. It would take them forever to go through that. But in our system, it takes it from 20,000 speakers down to maybe 2,000. And then they can keep refining it. And then they get down to 500, And so that part of it is so important to understand that it's difficult for speakers or for meeting planners to find speakers, especially if you're not a name brand yet and you're not being referred by friends, or you didn't, land a plane on the Hudson River or whatever the exciting thing was. You're not in the news and stuff. So you're trying to get out there. And so that's one of the things that you can do is they look for is the high SEO. We'll get you booked, but we don't really have I don't think the number of, we have like 15,000 meeting planners in our database. We're partners with MPI, which is Meeting Professionals International. We're partners with Helm Briscoe and Conference Direct and a lot of other third-party companies that have lots of organizers under them. And so we have a very good reach. We also have speakers from all around the world. So people are interested in bringing in a diverse group. It's not just from one area. I mean, we are North American based, and so we do have a lot of North American speakers. But the thing that we rank on, or we track for speakers, is the number of impressions and profile views. So an impression would be that you came up on a page and somebody saw your little speaker card, and a view would actually be when they click into your profile view. So we track those two things, and that's an important thing. The other thing that's unique about our system is that with eSpeakers, you have a profile, and then it's not only shown in the eSpeakers marketplace directory, but it can also be shown in over 80 other directories on the web. Now, you have to be a member of the National Speakers Association to be in their directory, or a member of the John Maxwell Team to be a part in their directory. But there are directories like Meeting Professionals International, the largest meeting planner organization. We power their directory. And so with that, there's lots of other directories that you can be seen. So you change one thing on your profile and it publishes out to all of these other directories. So you're getting, you're 10 times in your exposure. It's not just one website. But with our directory, we put a lot of work into this. This is my full-time job to get traffic to the marketplace. And so we pay a really good team of people to try to drive SEO and try to get organic traffic there, people who are searching Google. And what we found is that by adding the element of coming to our directory, what we want them to do is search and hire a speaker there. They have everything on their profile to be able to make a really good hiring decision on a speaker. They don't need to go anywhere else. And yes, you have a website. Yes, you have social media, all that. That's great, supporting material. But if they land on our directory and they're searching and you come up and they search your profile, everything on your profile would be there to help them hire you. They don't need to go anywhere else. So that's the whole goal. So, there's definitely some, that's basically, I guess, the most important statistic. Are you looking for something else?
No, that's fine. That's fine, because I know that we're a little bit out of time. Anything else that you wanted to share before we say goodbye? Because like I said, I'm just so excited, because I think that this is going to be one of those sessions that people are really going to be with their eyes hugely open and their mouth as well, because they're going to be amazed. Anything else before we leave? Because I actually have a speaking engagement at 2 p.m.
Okay, well, that's good. Well, don't miss this. This is going to be a life changer for you, a game changer. You'll learn some things that you can't learn anywhere else. So make sure you attend this upcoming conference of the Sales Made Easy conference, and make sure you catch my session specifically, because I'm going to give you some things that will help you build a better profile, get more exposure, and increase your sales. And who doesn't want that?
Thank you so much. I am excited now more, because I know that so many people are going to be amazed, and so many people are going to reach their 2023 goals to get more paid speaking engagement, because after attending the Sales Made Easy conference, they're really going to understand how to leverage the power of their eSpeakers profile to really make their sales easy. So I just want to say thank you so much, Joe. I'm looking forward to your session. And I want to say thank you to those of you who stayed all the way to the end, and want to encourage you to please make sure that you visit our website today and get your VIP ticket. I want to encourage you to get the VIP ticket, because it is by far our best ticket, because that's when you get selected by Joe, by me, to really help you take your business to the next level as a VIP. So make sure you get your VIP ticket today by visiting Bizniversity.com, Sales Made Easy. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'll see you then on October 13th, 14th, and 15th for the Bizniversity Sales Made Easy conference. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you. We'll see you later.
We can benefit, who really want a certain way of selling, which I know you call serving, I call sharing, and focus on sharing solutions.
It's not how you sell it as much as it is what you are selling and offering and sharing and giving and adding value to the client.
Start a conversation around an influencer's post, someone that attracts a lot of your buyers. What a great way to start the conversation. Like and comment on their comment, then reach out to them.
You're always negotiating, and your body enhances that process.
The primary skill we're developing here is not that things go exactly the way you intend for them to do, but that you have confidence in your ability to respond to whatever happens. And if we can understand what our unique contribution to an interaction is, then that's where we can have some genuine confidence.
Just remember, there are people right now who are praying for the message that you have, the inspiration that you have, the solution that you have. And if sales is the part that's making it difficult for you to serve, come be at this event and let's show you through all the speakers how to make that little piece right there, sales, how to make it easy so that all the people you're meant to serve are served.